We know more women are having babies later in life, but we also know the older you get, the harder it can be to fall pregnant. 1 in 10 Aussie couples will struggle to conceive. That means in every classroom there will be one child born from IVF. Emma Cannon is called the baby maker, and she knows all the secrets to falling pregnant at any age. The author of Total Fertility joins us now from London. Emma, good morning to you.
Morning.
Now, it is Mother's Day in Australia. For those wanting to be mums, what do women need to know before they get pregnant?
Well, first of all, I think the important thing to remember is that most people will fall pregnant, and that actually it's not unusual for it to take about a year in most couples, and that they shouldn't panic too quickly.
OK, what are the 5 simple ways to help you conceive?
I think that having an understanding of your menstrual cycle is really important. A lot of people that I see in clinic, even if they're in their 30s, have never really engaged in their menstrual cycle in any kind of positive way. And so suddenly in their 30s they have to play catch up very quickly. So I try to encourage younger women to engage in their menstrual cycle earlier in life, and just so they have an understanding of it. Also, smoking is a big no-no. Apparently smoking is responsible for 13% of world's infertility. Binge drinking, I think, is a problem. It disrupts the hormones, and I think the way in which we drink now, I don't know about Australia, but particularly in England, in young women is very detrimental. I think there's a lot of drinking alcohol at home, and I think that alcohol is very cheap, so people drink a lot more of it. I think having regular sex is really important throughout the month. I think people fall into the mistake of perhaps trying to pinpoint sex too early. And quite early on in their sort of baby-making journey, they decide that they're on sort of baby-making, project baby-making, and it becomes quite regimented quite quickly. Whereas I think the research shows that it's better to have regular sex throughout the month, rather than trying to pinpoint it too directly.
Right, okay.
And then obviously a healthy diet, so a healthy diet is the building blocks for good health, and also a good digestion, because although a lot of people have a very healthy diet, they tend to leave long periods between meals, or they skip meals, or low-fat diets are particularly bad for fertility because they tend to be very full of sugar.
OK, so it's all pretty simple and straightforward. The average age of women giving birth in Australia is 30. How old, in your opinion, is too old to be a mum?
Well, I think that's a really entirely individual thing. I think that there are lots of things to consider, but I suppose biologically, because our eggs do decrease in quality, ideally we'd all be settled with the right partner, financially secure, oh yes, I wish, and you know, at the age of 20-something. But clearly that isn't really the case. And I think that actually older mothers do bring something different to being a family, and that is maybe they're more emotionally secure or more financially secure. And actually, sometimes older women that I see are actually healthier in terms of their lifestyle than some young women that might fall pregnant accidentally. So it's a very individual thing. I suppose ideally we would all be having children, you know, late 20s, early 30s, and that way I suppose we get the biological advantages as well as the lifestyle and financial security advantages.
Life isn't always so smooth, though, is it?
No.
No, look, technically, IVF is a numbers game. It takes 3 or 4 goes, I'm told, before a woman falls pregnant. Each attempt in Australia costs about $8,000. Is IVF the answer, do you think, to having a baby, or is there a cheaper alternative?
Is there a cheaper alternative? I think IVF is brilliant for some conditions, but it's certainly not a cure-all. I think where there's blocked fallopian tubes, IVF is definitely the best solution. But in subfertility, I think other things can be tried first if you've got time. And I think that will depend on lots of things, how much time the couple spend together, how much sex they're able to achieve. And so on and so forth. It's multifactorial, really. But there are cheaper methods, and I think probably people who come and see me, some people come to me and think they need IVF and they don't, and some people come to me and think that they don't need IVF and end up needing it. So it is very individual, and I think every case needs to be, you know, tested on an individual basis, really.
Okay, look, Emma, we're out of time, but thank you very much for your time. I hope you've brought some calmness to some women out there. We appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
See you later.